Hey travelers! Recently we celebrated a milestone birthday of a friend of ours and it was epic. We went to Italy and it was a girls trip. So much fun. We of course had an amazing time, and the one thing I will say is planning group trips is a little bit more difficult just because there are a lot of moving parts. This video is not for that. I will do a separate video on how to help you plan group trips. This video is about our 5-day itinerary in the Amalfi Coast. To start the trip off right, we were able to snag a flight into Naples. Yes, a lot of people fly into Rome because you can find more affordable and more times of arrival, but we were able to shop well in advance, which means we were able to find the perfect date and time and the perfect price. So we cut out the 2-hour train ride from Rome and flew straight to Naples. From Naples, our house in Praiano was about an hour's drive. We did have to set up transportation for this in advance. I would not recommend you show up in the Amalfi Coast without transportation preset for a lot of the days you're going to be traveling, unless you're okay with jumping on the bus and working with a non-set schedule. While their buses do have a schedule, it's not able to be lived up to because there's so much traffic and only one main road. Another key to us setting up transportation in advance was that we were technically a large group. It was 6 of us, and this way we were able to give all of our schedule and all the business to one transportation company, meaning that when we woke up in the morning, if we were expecting a car, it was outside for us. We also, of course, were able to get a discount because we gave all of our business to the one company. Our driver was amazing. His name was Antonio, and we would sing his name every once in a while because after picking us up at the airport, he just added to the trip the whole time. Like, he stopped on the way to the house and got us ices, and it was just a great trip. He really added to every single second he was there. So day 1, we arrived at about 4 p.m. And remember, this is a sweet spot for me. I like that because when you arrive at that time, you have enough time to settle in, grab some dinner, and then pass out on the correct local time. It helps with jet lag. What we ended up doing is, after arriving at our beautiful house, we decided that we weren't going to ever leave it again that day. So we ran out to a local grocery store and got all the ingredients to do our own charcuterie and to make our own aryll spritz, and we enjoyed the view from the house. Day 2, we hit the beach, and while you know I am not a beach person, this was not about me. The birthday girl is a beach person. So we hit One Fire Beach, which was directly down the million stairs from our house, but it was perfect. More perfect than we actually expected. I knew that there was a chair rental, which is about $30 per day. I did not know that they actually place a price on different levels of chairs, meaning closer to the water versus further back, but we cheaped. We got those $30 back seats. It was fine. The price included a water taxi ride, which we weren't expecting, and that was awesome because we did not have to trek back up those stairs. We were able to take a water taxi at the end of our day at the beach over to Positano, which was only like a 5-minute ride, and enjoy that place for a few hours, and then took a bus back and didn't have to walk up the stairs. The prices at One Fire Beach was surprising to us because we live in Atlanta and we brunch often, and our brunch bill can come out to way more than our bill sitting waterfront all day long, being served drinks and cocktails and food with these amazing views. And in Italy, the bill was cheaper than one day of brunch back home. Now, what was amazing was arriving to Positano by water. Oh my gosh, like, you know, you've seen the Instagram, you've seen the photos, but when you're pulling up that way, it gets closer and closer and you're just like, it really, really looks like all the pictures. Unbelievable. But we weren't really too impressed with what was there. It was a lot of shops and restaurants selling, you know, beachwear, beach towels, and of course the classic Italian dresses. But just the ambiance alone was gorgeous, so we're very happy we went. Now on our way back, what we did is we took the bus. It goes back and forth down the one main street that there is basically on that whole row. And we bought our tickets in advance so that we would kind of know when to be back at the station. Okay, just thinking about day 3 freaks me out again. I do not regret it. I like to challenge myself. However, it was quite possibly the scariest thing I've ever done, especially on a vacation. Day 3, we rented Vespa. And while people make a Vespa rental sound, oh, it's so great, you can see everything without any windows, you can stop and go as you want, it gives you all of that. It really, really does. But I feel like I should have had a motorcycle license and a few hundred hours under my belt before I rented a Vespa. The people at the Vespa place were like, oh, this is how you turn it on. Have a nice day. And we had a nice day. No, seriously, renting a Vespa was kind of a goal for all of us. And once we got on them, we realized that we may have made a huge mistake, but we didn't turn back. We conquered the fear and the challenges. And the reason we wanted them was for a Freedom Day. We wanted to be able to go to different villages as we wanted to in different towns and spend as much time as we wanted, and we were able to. And so each stop was beautiful and totally worth it. We made it to Amalfi and Ravello and stopped a few other little places and looked off bridges. So it definitely gave us what we wanted. But I would say maybe not a Vespa, maybe a normal scooter. I saw people zipping around on those cheaper scooters. I think they were much lighter and had a better turn radius than a clunky, heavy old Vespa. But they were so pretty, and yeah, we survived, and we don't regret it. Well, I don't regret it. I'm pretty sure some of the girls regret it. Day 4 came and we were back safely in our van. Yay, Antonio came to pick us up. Lord knows we needed it. After a day on the Vespa, sitting in the air-conditioned van was totally cool with me. Antonio picked us up at the house and we did a road trip. We went down to Sorrento, which was so pretty. We all say we needed more time there. We underestimated what there was to do there, really. Well, we didn't do anything. We got there, we had breakfast, and we walked around just a smidge before it was time to move on to the next place. I think I do need to go back to Sorrento and see what it's all about. Maybe stay a night there. It's right at the beginning of the Amalfi Coast. Very city, a little bit more developed, bigger. So I wouldn't make a vacation of it, but I definitely will stop back in there again because it was picturesquely beautiful. Is that a word? Picturesquely? Anyway, so after Sorrento, we headed down to Naples and we were picking up our 6th person, and we of course needed to stop in Naples to get some classic margherita pizza. That's where it was born, so we had to get it authentically from Naples, so we stopped and had ourselves a nice lunch. And then we headed to Pompeii, which was, you know how the first time you see the Mona Lisa, or you see the Eiffel Tower or Statue of Liberty, it was like that. I highly recommend you make time to go to Pompeii. You're going to spend more hours than you think, but you won't regret any of the time. We did end up with a guide. And it depends on the location, whether I get a guide or not. Sometimes I'll do an audio tour, which is good enough for me. And sometimes we get a guide based on price and availability. This guide only cost us $10 per person, so additional $60. We added something to Pompeii. I highly recommend getting a guide if you can. Now day 5 came and it was hit the waters day. Got on a beautiful boat to Capri. We did do a private boat and it was beautiful and perfect. The captain was amazing. Snacks, drinks, like everything was great, except 2 of us got sick on the boat, and I was one of those people. Now, I've been on a boat before, we all had been, but it was really rough waters. But it's just gonna happen every once in a while. We were only sick going, we weren't sick going back, but you know, we're not in control of everything. I will say the birthday girl and the other 4 girls had a great day, so obviously that tells us that the boat was worth it and the boat was great, but being sick, not a dream come true when you're on your way to Capri. We got to Capri and it was beautiful, just pulling up to it on the water once again. We grabbed a little bit of lunch and then we explored a bit. And by then we were starting to feel like we lived there. We had places to go for grocery shopping and the great little bar to go and get a cocktail with the great views. It was all amazing. But her birthday hadn't even come yet. She wanted to celebrate her birthday in Rome. So on day 6, we jumped on a train and we went to Rome and started the celebration. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy your trip to the Amalfi Coast too. And Dolce Vita.